Hey, and welcome to the New Mama Marriage Bliss Show. I want to help you get out of the overwhelm and distance and guide you to reconnect to yourself and to your husband. You know you want things to be different, but you're probably not sure how to make it happen. Well, Mama, you're in the right place. Here we will dive into all the things you need to start loving your life and relationship and start living like soulmates and not roommates anymore. We will dive into motherhood, marriage, communication, holistic inspiration, and practical hacks and tips. Mama, I believe that transformation and deep connection await you. Hi, I'm Aliza Saeed, proud mama and grateful wife, and the Mama Marriage Coach. You too can turn your mess into magic. Come on, Mama, and let's do it together. Hi, Mamas, and welcome to the New Mama Marriage Bliss Show. I'm so excited you're here. I'm so excited. This is the first episode of the podcast. This podcast has been a dream for a very long time, and it is so exciting to finally see it come to life. So welcome, and welcome to the journey. I'm excited you're here and can't wait to see what happens with everything we do here. So today's episode is going to be kind of like laying down the foundation of all the things we're going to explore in this podcast. In this podcast, we're going to be talking about how to reconnect with your husband after having kids and all that comes up with all of that, because that's a lot. But really, in order to be able to get to a place of reconnecting with our husband, we first have to be able to be in a place of reconnecting with ourselves. And even though we like to run away from it, it's so important to talk about it first. So I want to tell you a little bit about our really hard patch that we went through. There was a time that we thought that we had such a strong relationship and that nothing could beat us, and we were able to conquer anything. And then came in this really dark time, and it was really hard. We were very disconnected. We said things to each other that we never imagined we would ever be able to say. We just felt very distant, and it was really hard for us to get out of that place. And I kept trying and doing different things, and we tried learning different things and therapy and all different things that we tried to do just didn't seem to do anything. And I was so frustrated that I was trying to make things better, but I was feeling very, very stuck. Then there was a time that I was just like, hold on, let's take a step back for a second. Before we're talking about our relationship and where we're going and what's going on with us, I better see what's going on with me, because I was in a very dark place myself. And just to explain a little bit where I was at that time, we had just moved to a different country. I was 6 months after having my second child, and I was probably suffering a bit of postpartum depression that I know to say now. I didn't notice it then, but now I know to say that I definitely had symptoms of postpartum depression. We were living in a country that I didn't speak the language, so I didn't have friends, and it was really hard to make friends because I didn't speak the language. And I was just in a really dark personal place. We both had jobs that were very demanding of each other at that time. And we didn't really meet each other all that much. And when we did, it was with all these frustrations that I had gathered up throughout the day. So here I was in a really dark personal place, not happy, not feeling satisfied with myself, not feeling fulfilled at all, and just feeling really frustrated. And now I look back and I say to myself, how could you have even expected to have this glorious marriage when you were in such a dark place? It starts with you. It starts, first of all, with having a really good connection with myself and being able to love myself, and then I'll be able to love unto others. I like to imagine it as if we each have these 3 circles within us. As moms, we are women. That's our first circle. We are wives, and we are mothers. And each one of these circles that we have, or circles or hats or crowns, I like to say, whatever you want to call it, each one of these circles, they have different demands from us. We have different needs in these circles, and each and every one of these circles gives us different blessings. Many times, especially in today's culture, we like to think of these circles as these crashing and colliding identities that we have that can't merge together. And I like to see it differently. I like to see it as these beautiful dancing circles that not only do they dance together, but they feed into each other and they give to each other, to each circle. So yeah, sometimes it's hard to find the balance between these circles, but it's so crucial because each and every one of these circles, me being a woman, my own self-development, my own passions and dreams and what it is I want to achieve in this world, is what's going to empower me to be a strong wife. And then when I'm a strong, empowered, connected, intuitive wife, then together with my husband, I can create a unity that then we can bring life into this world. And then I will be able to be a strong and empowered mother. Now, when I say strong, I mean really wholehearted. And I mean living life with mind, body, and soul, and a full life and full of purpose and joy. So let's understand a little bit more about these circles. We have different stages in life that we need to emphasize different parts of our identity or different circles. For example, a woman after maternity leave or during maternity leave, she might feel really frustrated that she doesn't have time for herself. She doesn't have time for things that she might want to do. And I think the first step is to just be graceful that it's okay that at this point, I'm dancing a little bit more on the circle of being a mother. Does that mean that I should completely abandon the other circles? Absolutely not. But it's okay to understand that there are times in life where I'm going to emphasize different circles. How about when all the children leave the house and the emptiness of an empty nest? Then should a mother be frustrated that the mother circle might not be as emphasized? No, it's this beautiful dance throughout our lives of these three circles coming in and going out of our lives and being emphasized each one at the right time. We need to be graceful with each other and with ourselves and with these circles and really be able to embrace each and every one of them. But if we don't embrace each and every one of them, then we're going to feel a sense of lack. We're going to feel unfulfilled. And we have to make sure that, yeah, there are times that each one might be a little more emphasized than the others, but we can't forget any one of these different facets of our identity. So I want to bring this beautiful idea. It's actually a Kabbalistic idea that usually we have this idea of how the woman was created according to the Bible. There's this myth that man was created and then God took out a rib from the man and then created the woman. Actually, that's mistranslated because the word for rib in Hebrew is tsela. Tsela can either mean rib, but really according to the Kabbalah, it means the side. So what happened? What is the true story according to the Kabbalah? God created man and woman side to side or back to back, connected to each other. And then it says that God saw that it wasn't good that the man was all by himself. But what do you mean he was by himself? He wasn't by himself. He was with the woman. They were like united, glued together, side by side. But he knew that if they weren't two separate entities, two separate identities that then come together, it's just going to be a feeling of loneliness. They're not going to be able to create a unity. So then what did he do? He separated them from each other, created two separate identities, and then it says they were able to come and unite face to face. What does the story mean? What could we learn from this story for our lives? In the depths of who we are, we were created to connect. We were created unified. We were created seeking always connection and unity with others. But in order to be able to get to a place of true unity and of connection, we first need to take a step back. We can't merge together when we don't even know what we're merging because we're not something yet. So first we have to take a step back, understand who we really are as separate selves. What are my desires? What are my passions? What are my needs? What are my talents? Really understand who I am and what's going on with me. And then once I reconnect to myself, then I can reconnect face to face with an intimate connection with somebody else. What happens if I don't do that? What happens if I don't really embrace myself before I connect to someone else? The danger is then creating a dependent relationship. Then I rely on somebody else to give me things that I might be lacking in my own self. I put a huge burden on my spouse to provide me with a sense of security, a sense of love, which really should start with my own self-love. Not to be dependent on whether or not my spouse is going to give me love, but first to be in a place that I'm good with myself, like just feeling okay. And then once I feel good, then I'll be able to create a much deeper relationship. In today's society, we expect our spouses to be everything for us, to be our best friend, to be our lover, to be our companion, to be everything that we would ever want. That it used to be that a whole village was able to give us all those things. And today we put this burden that is sometimes way too heavy onto our spouses. And this burden can create a relationship of unhealthy expectations and then sadly bitter disappointment. And it's not because anybody means badly, and it's not because we don't love each other. It's just because, hold on, we first need to come with a sense of being a separate entity, a separate identity, and understand who I am and really embrace that circle as we spoke about, and then be able to dance together and see face to face that my spouse and be able to create an intimate relationship. Now, I'm sure that everything I said until now is something that we all know. It's something that is important as a basis to a relationship, and we all know that. But many times we only realize after being in a serious relationship that we have to work on a relationship with ourselves. Like, we kind of forget it, and we want to expect that our spouse or our companion will be able to, fulfill any of those missing emotions that I have within me. And then we realize that, oh no, maybe there are things that are unsolved within me. Now what do I do? Now I'm already in a relationship. So I'm here to say it's not too late. I got married very early, and I always say that I needed to get married early so that I was able to grow together with my husband and learn how to create my own self within this marriage, which was so important because that's what was able to give us the basis to really be able to create a strong relationship. Many times people think that if things aren't working in a relationship, then they should leave the relationship. But many times, those same inner issues that are underlying in that relationship will just continue on to whatever relationship that person goes on to. So it's not like leaving a relationship is the solution. It's that we have to look inside and see what's going on inside of me. What is this relationship mirroring to me that I can learn from the relationship and learn about myself and be able to really fix deep inner work that needs to be going on inside of me, and then be able to connect to my spouse on a stronger level. So as I said, is it too late? I'm already in a marriage. I already have a few kids. I don't have the self-esteem that I should. I don't love myself. I don't accept myself. I don't embrace myself. And yeah, I kind of depend on my husband to give me all that. Is it too late? Absolutely not. You can always develop a new self-discovery and self-love even when you're in a relationship. I'll just give you 2 tips in this episode here. I would love to encourage you to preserve self-development time. Really think about something that can renew something within you, that you can be dancing in this circle of just your woman identity. Sometime, whether it's during a daily habit or a weekly habit, maybe it's reading. Maybe you like to read self-help books, or you like to read even just novels that inspire you. Maybe you want to learn something cool. I learned to be a doula because I knew that I needed to do that for my own self-development. Maybe you want to embrace a new hobby. You could embrace a new hobby by yourself. You could also embrace a new hobby with your spouse. Make sure that you're taking care of your friendships. Renewal of the relationship starts with renewing within you. If you want to be able to rekindle something in your relationship, start with rekindling something within you. You feel like there's passion that's missing? Okay. Where's that passion inside of you? Where inside of your heart do you know that you can rekindle a bit of passion? And the second thing is also to remember that your happiness depends on you and solely you. You can't expect your relationship to erase all your sorrows. We have to take responsibility and understand that my emotions are my emotions. And it's not my husband's job to be in charge of them. It's my job to be my own identity. Just like we said, there was a reason why God separated and said, hold on, take a little bit of separation, grow each and every one of you, develop yourselves, and then come back to each other. Because then when you come back to each other, you have so much more to give. So sometimes doesn't mean we need to physically now separate. It means that we have to be in a mindset of always developing ourselves. Each one of us needs to develop who they are. And once we take responsibility for how I'm feeling, I used to always blame my husband if I was upset about something. Like if something was going on between us, it was like someone switched off a light inside of me. Like if he did something that annoyed me or that made me upset, that was it. I was like, and then I learned, I guess I grew up a little bit also. I learned that no, he's not in charge of my happiness. Even if something happens, I'm in charge of what's going to make me happy. I'm in charge of me getting out of this rut. Can he help me? Absolutely. Can he embrace the journey together with me? Absolutely. But not from a place of dependence, not from a place of neediness. He should do it once I come from a place of also standing on both feet and being able to take responsibility and understand that it's my job to be able to develop myself and then meet him together and then be able to create a beautiful, deep relationship of two strong identities. Well, I don't want to say strong because sometimes they're not strong. Sometimes they come together in a very vulnerable place. But two people that each side knows who they are, what they are, takes responsibility for their lives and their self-development, and then together come together in order to build something so much stronger. We say that 1 + 1 = 1. That's what love is according to the Kabbalah. What does that mean? When you take one person and you take another person, then you can create one unit, one connection. Love is when two people come together and they create this union that they become like oneness. And in order to do that, we need one and one. We need two people that really understand who they are and are developing themselves. So throughout this podcast, we will go through a journey of really working hard and softly and beautifully and in a fun way to recreate that connection with our husbands that we so dream of. And I believe that everyone can. But it's so easy to lose ourselves in motherhood, in trying to make this connection. We forget who we are. We forget what we dreamt about. And the first part of this journey is to learn to reconnect with ourselves. And once we reconnect with ourselves, then we'll be able to reconnect with our partners, with our children, and with our highest self. And in this way, and only in that way of really strong connection with myself and with my partner, will we be able to live a life full of progress and purpose and deep, true happiness. I wish you all good luck on this journey, and I'm happy you're here with me on this journey, and I can't wait to see you for next time. Thanks for joining us and listening to this episode. I know what it's like to crave some together time with your husband, but feel so stuck because for whatever reason, you can't leave the house. Maybe someone's sick, maybe there's no babysitter budget, or maybe you're just too exhausted. Well, that's why I would love to gift you a list of 50 date night ideas that you can do at home when you can't find a babysitter. It doesn't mean date night is doomed. go over to alizasaid.com. That's alizasaid.com/50 date night ideas and download a list of awesome ideas for a date night at home. Plus, you get some really essential guidelines to make a home date awesome. Some important things that can either make it or break it. So head over to alizasaid.com/50 date night ideas and date away.